Hello and welcome to neilsspanishflybox. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to tie a streamer, and it is the Grizzly Marabou brown streamer. I like this particular fly in smaller sizes and especially for brown trout. At the start of the season they can be very aggressive, and this has proved quite successful for me. So let's get into the tying. In the vise I have a size 10 nymph hook, strong nymph hook, and a 3.8 copper bead. So let me just set the bead. At the beginning of the season, I think trout are particularly aggressive because of them having not had a lot of food, and they will attack quite ferociously, and this streamer is no different. Right, I'm just going to wind down the thread, which is a dark brown thread, and tie in some copper wire for a rib, and this is, as you can see, 018. It's quite a strong wire, but it's easy to use. So I'm just going to tie this in and bind it down and back down to the rear of the fly. Right, the marabou that I'm using, as I said, is a grizzly brown, and this happens to be hairline. And I've taken out a couple of feathers. Now you need to marry them up for the tail, and they do have a natural convex and a concave side. So measure them up as straight as you can and tie them in at the rear as a tail. I also try and keep them on top so that they remain flat. Or should I say horizontal, however you want to say it. And I'll just pass one underneath. And trim off the excess. Now don't discard those feathers, because we're going to use marabou for the body. So those that were discarded, I'm just going to cut off some of the fibres. And we're going to dub those onto the body. And this will create a sort of rope of dubbing, just to enhance the size of the body, really. And wind that on. Keep it as tight as you can. Right, and now I'm going to put on the rib. Apart from holding the dubbing in place, of course this creates a little bit of flash on the body. Trim that off. Right, now for the side I'm going to use 2 feathers again. Marry those up so that you have one on each side, and I'll start with this side, and you want it about the length of the body. And tie that in. Trim off the excess. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. and trim off the excess. Now I'm going to bind all that down to make sure they stay in place. So you can see that on both sides we have this grizzly side wing, I suppose you could argue, but it moves quite distinctly in the river. Right, now at the front I'm going to put on some dubbing, and this is Spectra dubbing number 29, which is a brown, and it has some green fleck in it as well. I'm going to keep it long in fibre. Quite often I trim it up because I'm going to brush it out, and that will create fibres along the side. You will have noticed that I didn't put anything in the tail. So just wind that on at the front, keeping it tight. Pull the fibres back. And before I tie it off, I'm going to put some glue onto the thread. And tie off the fly. And trim up the tying thread. Right, as I said, I'm just going to brush this out so that we have fibres going along the body, some underneath. And there you have the finished fly. You can tie this in larger sizes, of course, in 8s and 6s, depending upon the size of the river and the size of the trout that you're hoping to catch, I suspect. But for my fishing here in Spain, the larger sizes I have found less successful. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the tying. Do hit the bell if you're not already a subscriber, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for viewing. Bye.